Hello Physical Fiends, it's Jordan here with another Worth of Purchase where I play a game for a short amount of time to see if I would buy it myself with my own cash. Today, on the books, we've got the Plucky Squire. It's arriving digitally this week, but this is physical paradise. I only talk about physical goodness, and this will have a physical release later on. The details of which I will explain later in the video, but purchase links are down below in the description and pinned comment if you want to purchase it and support me. But what is the Plucky Squire? It's a game that's been hotly anticipated since it was first revealed, feels like a good few years ago now. This is an incredibly inventive game that really would not look out of place if it was made by Nintendo themselves. Personally, for this video, I am playing on the PlayStation 5. It is an action-adventure puzzle game that can be compared to a top-down Zelda, but it's definitely its own thing. It also heavily reminds me of another game called RPG Time: The Legend of Right, a really meta-style game. Usually that's not a narrative that does much for me, but the Plucky Squire is so whimsical and fairy tale-like that it really works. You are the eponymous squire called Jot, who's the hero in a storybook series, and he gains the power to jump out of the book and onto the desk it lays upon. It mixes 2D and 3D perfectly with two distinct worlds and gameplay styles. It may seem gimmicky, and hell yes it is, but in the best way possible, because they use it in such a way that it's integral to solving the wonderful puzzles that the game presents. It's a game that feels brimming with creativity, even if for the most part it's quite simple. It's the presentation that wins it over so easily. And there are so many inventive things going on, grabbing things in the real world to take them into the storybook, using portals to jump in and out of different areas, almost like you're cheating the map design. The combat is okay, it's pretty simple. You get different attacks and you can upgrade them. It's serviceable and looks nice, which is helpful, but yeah, the star is definitely the puzzles. As somewhat of a wordsmith myself, I was bespunkulated at the word puzzles, where you can swap and exchange words within sentences to affect the environment, changing something that was once tiny into something huge, something that was once closed into something that is now open, something empty can be changed into something full. You're often presented with a handful of words to experiment with. It's often obvious as to what the correct course of action is, but I love the playful nature of it. Not every word fits in a sentence, but you can do something random like make a door tiny for literally no reason other than seeing it happen visually. Instead of exchanging the broken bridge for a solid bridge, how about we just make a tiny bridge, like for no reason other than because we can. I love it, and my daughter loved it too. Like, it brings out the curiosity in people. The world jumping isn't just limited to in and out of the book. The desk itself plays a major gameplay role where you'll be spending a decent amount of time also doing similar things in terms of, defeating enemies, solving simple enough puzzles, but it also has a more rapid use of the world jumping, like a sticky note or a strip of paper. If you've played A Link Between Worlds on the 3DS, it's kind of like that. There's so much variety in here too. Having tons of mini games or micro games can often make the package as a whole feel unfocused, but it's not the case here. The whimsy enhances the moments like you're trying to catch a fish with your bare hands, shoot flies with arrows, battle a Magic the Gathering card, or punch out a honey badger. The game really is a carnival or fairground, and not the traveling kind that rocks up in your local park with no safety certificates and leaves the area with more teenage pregnancies than when it arrived. This is the good kind, okay? It gives you loads of different experiences that enhance the core gameplay. The storybook aesthetic is wonderful. The texture of the paper, the paint, the sketches, all brilliant. Of course, I'm playing on the PS5, so of course it looks wonderful. And while I assume the realism may be lost in the Switch version, I'm sure the art direction will power it through, hopefully. Having played for about 3 hours now, of which the game is supposedly 7 to 10 hours long, I do have some minor complaints. Firstly, I played this alongside my daughter. She's 6. This game should be absolutely perfect for her, like storytelling, visuals, gameplay. It's amazing for a kid. I just kind of wish most of the characters didn't constantly use hip language, endless slang and cool talk that I had to explain to her what it meant. The way they talk in this game, I really wouldn't use it as a bedtime story for my daughter. I think they should have kept it more traditional instead of trying to stand out but trying way too hard, bordering on annoying. So yeah, -1 for the writing. Maybe I'll try the Chinese language version with her instead, since, she's half Chinese. It's difficult for the Chinese language to be ruined by 35-year-olds pretending they're still down with it. Secondly, the backtracking is a bit of an issue, especially if you don't take the right item with you when you need it. This mostly comes to the front with the word puzzles, which I love, but you don't always know what you're going to need, so when there are about 4 words on the ground, there's a 25% chance you're going to have to trudge your way back here to pick up another one. Again, it's fine not knowing what you need in advance, but maybe some sort of inventory system could have alleviated it a little bit, or maybe having Jot walk a smidge faster, or the portal transition being a bit faster as well, then it wouldn't have been so noticeable. But one cool thing about the game is that for the extreme backtracking to even different screens, you jump out of the book and you can just turn the pages back through the whole book and jump in where you need to go, at least for the chapter you're on. You can't go through the whole game again. But aside from those complaints, I tell you what guys, I am absolutely loving the Plucky Squire. In terms of the physical release, sadly, you're gonna have to wait a little bit. Despite it releasing digitally this week, the physical release is aiming for February next year, man. I tell you, with how lovely this game is, I think a good few people will be getting their double-dipping Dingleberry pin badge in the post. It's gonna be hard to wait specifically for the physical. But yeah, the physical release is coming, only on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5. There is a standard edition as well as a deluxe edition, which is slightly different between North America and Europe. At least on paper it sounds slight, but for some people it could be pretty significant. Firstly, North America, the deluxe edition comes with the game, as you'd expect, and a 108-page art book, like some sort of Suikoden thing going on there. It also includes a digital soundtrack. However, in Europe, for the deluxe edition, instead of a digital soundtrack, they get a physical CD. Why? I don't know, but it's happened before where North America doesn't get a CD, but Europe does. Maybe production costs or import tax too high for CDs, I don't know, who knows? But I guess that will affect some more than others, like some won't even have a device to play CDs on anymore. Does the PS5 play CDs? Something tells me that it won't for some reason. Maybe digital is more useful for some. And yet, you are buying a physical game, so you have tangible ownership, so surely you'd want tangible ownership of the music too? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Does it bother you? Do you have a preference? Now that I've realized my PS5 probably can't play music CDs, I might as well put it in the bin. Hey, maybe the PS5 Pro might be able to do that. Then it definitely would be worth the $7 billion they're charging for it. If you want the North American release, you can check out the links down below in the description. You can purchase from VGP, Video Games Plus, who have free worldwide shipping on orders over 80 Canadian dollars, which is about 60 American dollars. The exchange rate is actually very favorable. It's cheaper than buying on Amazon if you get yourself over that shipping threshold at least. However, if you want the European version, like if you live in America but you want that damn CD like the Chad that you are, then you can import it from my Play Asia links down below. They have that, and they have free shipping too, but over 100 American dollars. Not bad if you've got eyes on 1 or 2 more games, but if you click my link down below in the description, you can also get a tasty 5% off with the code Jordan24. Both VGP and Play Asia support me greatly, and I appreciate your support. It helps me out ever so much. Would I buy this myself? Yes, I would. The hype was definitely worth it for sure. It's been a long time coming, but the Plucky Squire is a lovely game with a lot of heart, great mechanics, inventive design that keeps on delivering. As I said, if this had Nintendo's logo slapped on it, it would not look out of place. It just has that feeling. I don't always get enamored by indie games, but this has got me good. And this is coming from someone who about 3 days ago wasn't even that interested in it. I was happy for those who were really excited about it, but for me, it's just another Devolver Digital game. Good, but over-marketed, you know what I mean? But I hold my hands up and I'm throwing my stubbornness away for a few moments and admit I should have been more excited about this game. It's awesome. Will you be buying it yourself? Are you getting it digitally, or are you waiting for the physical release? Or are you a double-dipping dingleberry? It's fine if you've got the wallet for it. You are probably propping up the gaming industry. Please consider using the links below in the description if you want to purchase something, or any physical game for that matter. I really appreciate your support, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. Take care.